Everyone's been so silent today.
It is truly a cursed existence. Anyways, what did I miss?
We said literally nothing until you showed up.
Everyone has been completely silent.
I
I was
see.
enjoying it.
Well,
So we're killing Duke.
When don't we?
mm-hmm,
I'm here to ruin everything, as I do.
mm-hmm. Well, hello, everyone. In terms of updates on my end, I made some pretty solid progress with the equipment guide. I've been working on it at work. I was going to do another huge pass Thursday, but I was busy until about 4 a.m., which normally I'm not busy at all. So here we are. Um, but a lot of updates have been made towards quality. Um, I'm starting to implement some of the changes that I've been working on outside of the equipment guide and adding those to the equipment guide, um, such as the armor crafting updates, just so the armors in the equipment guide are updated. Um, Magical items have received a pretty big overhaul. Crafting, I finally started touching on that one to the point where it's getting a bit more simplified, streamlined. It still has the same economic system, wherein marks, complexity, materials equal item, but no longer has the 50%. Um, but there's a bunch of stuff. Anyways, progress is being made. Assuming I stick with the same time frame that I've been working with, I'd say I probably have about, keep in mind this is days of work, not days until it's done, about 5 days left of work. So if I am able to work on it as planned, we should have it by not next Sunday, but the Sunday after. If I can work on it more, then I think I will be able to, then maybe next Sunday. Um, or maybe sooner, but, depending on that stuff. This is the entire equipment guide. I'm be dropping it. Like, I've been working on a bunch of stuff, so. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, we'll get there when we get there. You're not wrong. Um, as, life finds a way where things get busy and whatnot. But, giant updates. Um, expect there to be some new drops on World Anvil soon, because there's a lot of updates I need to slap on there, like new spells and whatnot that I've been working on for campaign unlocks and the like. So those will probably be posted today. Um, but yeah, not too much else beyond that. A lot of updates that are gonna be like spells or feats or classes, um, and then a lot of equipment guides updates, which is not currently visible, but uh, it's being worked on. It's good stuff. I've noticed. Yeah, it's looking good. I've actually implemented that into the guide. The hireling system is nearly complete. I'm just testing some of it a little bit, seeing how it works. Making sure the numbers for costs is fine before I finalize it and send out the guide. Smuggle. In terms of structures, that is a modifier that adds to your checks to smuggle items. Um, Generally, most components don't actually give a smuggle score, but there are some that do, and they'd be like secret passages that are not in the currently visible document, but things like that will make it easier to smuggle things out of your vehicle if it's a secret compartment, or if it's a castle like a escape exit or things like that. Items, people, depending on what you need to smuggle. It's just a bonus to any checks required to smuggle, which would be things that are not related to structures themselves, but things that you would need to do tied to the smuggling. So, like, if you're using the travel action and you are traveling with a Vardo that has a smuggling boosting component, then you would add the component's bonus to your smuggling check when trying to smuggle items across the border. Um, if the item is listed as restricted or illegal, can't be sent. Um, if it is restricted and you have a license, then it can be sent. Yeah, and that's the same thing for if you look at like travel downtime days, it lists that as well. Another big thing that I kind of started a conversation on, I've seen both positive and negative feedback from, would be one of the suggestions I posted, being the uh, additional giftings of um, travel days and then essentially like profession days. I've seen people against it. I've seen people for it. Um, I would kind of like to get people's opinion on it just to see where everyone else stands, because I know some of staff are like nah, some of players are like eh, some of players are like yeah, some staff are like yeah. So it's kind of up in the air. I know the reasons for against it that are against it are pretty solid, being that they were going to use them, they would have used them already. They just want more days. But it's something to discuss. Let me read through Legacy's thing while people write up their thoughts on it. Um, research limitations clarification. Research is indeed for lore. If you're wanting to make custom abilities, features, etc., generally you're going to want to use the influence prestige systems for these, depending on proper channels. Unless you can phrase it in a way that it would naturally produce such an effect.
Um,
So,
I
what I mean
I
by
would
that
warn
is,
against even that, just because it will get to a point where everyone's just using research to get their custom things and trying to find a way to do it naturally.
yeah. I mean, that is totally fair. That said, if someone is like looking into the history of Eldiria and happen upon an ancient paladin order, I'm not going to be like, yeah, no, that subclass doesn't exist. Um, so
So, do you mean more? It's something
it's going to
the
be
staff
lore.
side wants to give out instead of
Yeah,
the player specifically looking for it.
yeah. So it's not going to be something like, oh, I want
It,
to gain this monastic tradition, so I'm going to look into monastic traditions of uh, Borussia. Um,
it's
and then we'll be like,
more
here's
like
some
how
options. It's gonna be like,
the
here's some things that
Ashen.
might exist in history.
Yeah,
They're historical because it's lore. It's not current events. If you want current events, you want rumors, and rumors are not exactly the best because they're iffy.
basically, they would be unlocking stuff that the team has already presented to them with, and they're researching it
Okay.
instead of someone going, "Hey, I want to, I want to research this random item that I have never heard of before."
Yeah, I mean, if you someone inputs, I want to research nukes, I'm like, you don't know what the fuck nukes
No,
are. Denied.
Yeah, it's
they're
just
not
from
Gandhi.
past experience. It can get really out of hand with people trying to get
Yeah.
custom feeds, custom subclasses,
Yeah, no,
custom sub races. It
We
gets
don't want it to be research from Verum.
yes.
Yeah,
or research from Indoor, which
yeah.
So I'm
got
not.
way out of hand.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is it technically possible to acquire things from research? Yes. It is not the purpose of research, though.
Okay, I'll make sure to tell Matthias because he was trying to amend some of his research to specifically look towards using radiant damage on one of his subclass feats or
Yeah,
subclass things.
like I noticed that one too. If it's like very clearly I want mechanics, give me mechanics, that research is probably just gonna be outright denied.
Okay,
If it
I
is
just
something
want to
that's
make
like
sure.
I would like to look into monastic orders that might be tied to the Radiant Soul subclass, uh, that is technically still a mechanical question, but it might get results. They're not gonna be like, here is a custom unlock that you might get from it. It's gonna be like, here is a faction that might exist in the world. You might
Okay,
get a mission from that if you spend prestige that might then unlock some stuff for you. but you're gonna have to spend
Or,
some.
you'll learn where some of those temples are and you can go there, I guess.
I've just
There's
gotten
things. It
so
just
much
takes actions on your part too.
PTSD from past researches
Yeah. I
that
mean, we
I
had
really don't want it to
from
happen
Verum
again.
like 30, 40 backlogs on my plate alone, let alone everyone else's plate. So yeah, it's totally
Yeah, because
understandable.
everyone wants their custom stuff, which I understand, but it's we don't have the time.
Look, we ain't got the staff or the time to make several subclasses that
Yeah.
people want. It
Now that all
like
said, if you guys unlock stuff in mission, and your DM is like, I really want to give you guys this thing, suggest to your DM to bring it up with balance team, and we can see if it can be unlocked. Because I'm totally not against people unlocking things through play, but it does need to be brought to the team because it is overall the living world, not personal private games. So like,
No matter how much people might say, it may as well be.
exactly. But like, if for example, I were running a game like a follow-up to Lock Doom, which is probably going to happen, um, and my players did something weird, wibbly wobbly, and they happened to connect themselves to like the dragon soul stream. Um, that might be a thing that would trigger the unlocking of the dragon shaman class. I would need to first bring that up with the team. Be like, hey, this is cool if we unlock this for this
should have
action.
touched the stone.
As an
Should have touched
example.
the stone and said, "Fuck it."
As an example. Anyways, um, so there are ways to unlock custom things for yourselves as players, but it is something that needs to generally have some form of action on your part that's not just, hey, generate content for me. So, like, expenditure of prestige is obviously, hey, generate content to me, but you're expending a very rare resource to do so. Through gameplay, you're actively going through harrowing trials, most likely, to get said unlock. Also, keep in mind that beehives can very well kill you, so be careful if you do fist a beehive, as my players in Tuesday's game, which we played last night, have learned. They didn't really fist a beehive, but, they could have.
I mean, you do have systems in your game, so
Yeah. I mean, they fist the beehive a previous session, which is how they are now 3 tiers lower than they should be for current content. Anyways,
As in they're in content that's 3 tiers lower than them, or they're in content that's 3 tiers
they're level
higher.
7 and they're dealing with things that are level 13 to 14.
Well, they're fucking idiots, but shit happens. Welcome to D&D. Fuck around, you find out.
I mean, they got a lot of experience for the first encounter. Anyways, if someone, I'm just responding to Fritz's question regarding waste or denial. If someone is posting something like 3 different DTDs in a row, or something similar, like, here's an obviously denied research, it's just a mechanic question, the response is going to be very much like, nah, denied, you get your points back. Nah, denied, you get your points back. Okay, at this point, 3 times in a row, my dude, you don't get your points back. So, if it's pretty obvious that they're just wasting our time, then yeah, we'll just be like, nah, you don't get points anymore. You don't get your downtime anymore. But if it's not, then yeah, they get their points back. I don't want to punish someone for just, maybe being on the cusp of like, is this Gucci or not? Let's see here. Like I say, second question before I continue scrolling down, because this one is another bolded question. Yes, so any gather info result that is a rumor, specifically rumor not on a subject but a rumor, is posted to the region where it was gathered's notice board publicly. Everyone has access to it. Essentially, they're generating the rumor. That is a pretty big researcher boon, is that they can keep that to themselves and then sell that information. Now, there are probably going to be some feats that will also allow anyone else to do this, because I really want to add some more like intrigue feats to the game, which are going to be under the Guile subcategory. But yeah, no, as of right now, the only one who can currently prevent downtime rumors from being made public would be researchers. Alright, scrolling down, scrolling down. Yeah, another thing which Fritz just brought up, if someone is researching lore, I know I'm pretty sure I mentioned this last week too, but or the week before maybe. Anyways, if someone is researching lore or anything that like has a result that we have to produce, but has a chance of failure, roll the chance as soon as you notice it. And if it fails, you just let them know. If it doesn't fail, then you can go on doing the normal process of determining what the results are. But if we don't have to have them wait like 2, 3 weeks or 4 weeks, or even longer if it's super specific. Let's not have them wait. We can just easy clap determine if it's failed or not. All right, scrolling down, scrolling down. So many posts. It's, oh my goodness, so many people posting. Yeah, unless someone wants to like try to intercept a mail or a package or anything like that, uh, or ambush someone traveling on the road. Generally, those actions are probably just going to be handled by trading, but good idea to have political keep an eye on it, especially if the mail is involving smuggling or blackmailing, which are options that can occur. The sender should mark it as a smuggling attempt, but we should also keep an eye just in case. But the sender should make sure that they have all their ducks in a row.
Well, if it's going through automation, obviously we should technically have a box that says, will this include smuggling?
Yeah.
Which case, then we'll know, okay, this person's trying to smuggle something. Then we'll inform said people involved, and then go from there.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Otherwise, most political can in fact ignore most email going out.
Mm-hmm. You didn't have the
And
GPS
pie
intended for smuggling?
and pie won't kill anyone.
Take all my fun out of it, why don't you?
Well, yeah.
Well, if we want to, if Sky's intention for GPS was not to allow for smuggling, um, we could just have it be players themselves have to smuggle, so they have to be the one traveling to deliver the package. But if we want it to be allowable, we could just have the rules we just discussed. See, I don't want to introduce something like that, just because that just means that magic now exists to the point where why doesn't everyone use this? I think it'd be easier if the guild customs just check it and basically, like Zone of Truth, if they say nothing when they're like, is this gonna be illegal to your particular region, and they don't answer, or they try to do a wibbly wobbly answer, it's obviously just denied. So, that works. But if we have a custom spell where it's just like, I know it's smuggled, it's not allowed, then that adds a whole can of worms we have to look into of how would this interact with the world and the economy and a bunch of other things, and yeah, pretty much. And I have so many ads I need to read. It's fine. All right. With all that said, thoughts on the additional day options or the like? So I kind of want to get other people's opinions on that. Fair enough.
Additional days should not be introduced. The current issue is not that people don't have the time of day to make things or use them. The only thing that I could see it solving is the lack of travel happening around, but additional days for crafting is just a bad idea and will make the economy in more shambles.
Duke, honestly, Duke kind of hit it on the head. If they wanted to interact with the system, they would have all ready.
I'm just waiting for chat responses before I respond. Certainly fair. I mean, you're not wrong. Duke's argument against it was pretty solid.
Mhm. See, I don't think it's a bad idea if we were later down the line and things were more pushed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with the current way of handling things, as is, it's just kind of more layers, and we already don't. As Duke pointed out, we if people wanted to interact, they would have. But we're kind of still in that growing period, which I think table the idea for later down the road.
That's fair.
Because it's not bad. It's just an idea that works later down the road for us.
Mm-hmm.
It also sets up crafting as something you have to interact with, or
Mhm.
you're getting kind of losing out. And there's just people who built their characters without like any actual crafting tools or proficiencies.
Mm-hmm. Of note, one of my earbuds just died, so I'm now on a time limit. That's fun.
Can't believe Duke did that.
Yeah, once the equipment guide update comes out, and hopefully it is much clearer how to use crafting, I feel like the crafting issue will be resolved. Um, The travel system, I thought, could be potentially still helpful, but overall, you're not wrong. People were going to use their days; they would have used them.
Mhm.
And I feel like once people start buying carts and horses and carriages and whatnot, people
Mhm.
are going to travel a lot more freely because it's going to be from like 5 days to travel to like one. Yeah, I mean there is a lot of people spending gold on other options.
I mean, I can get behind the travel days because that means people now have an incentive to actually travel, which, again, if they want to travel, they would have traveled. But having the option isn't bad.
Hmm. I think travel days also has the thing of there's so many different options of downtime that are so much
Mhm.
juicier than travel that it's not a very appealing option in the first place.
Right, and some players have already basically outright said they have no reason to ever travel, so they
Hmm.
would not have used those days anyway to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, it's not a bad idea. I think it'll work later in the line once we finally get all of our systems in a better place.
Hmm. Yeah, I think keeping an eye on it, letting it stew for a bit, and as things settle, as you say, we can
Mhm.
revisit it. But for now, we can just let it sit.
But as is, it's not a bad idea, and I think it'll work later down the line.
Hmm. It's true. We do have guides who specifically are designed to travel and get people to point A to point B.
Right. Let Lacey go at the next point since he's dying.
There is death, yes. But yeah, no, I think this one can be put on hold and we can go to the next topic. What's the confirmation you need on mail?
Um,
'Cause I currently have in the equipment guide this guy's original writing, which is 1 GP per pound, minimum 10 GP for packaging. Player pings trading and player trading with mail format starting GP ending GP. Trading checks balance. Okay, is it? Player fills out form. Will keep us review on a rolling weekly basis. Smuggling dangerous cargo. Speak to political intent. National shipping or region. In region shipping people. Yeah, no, that looks pretty much about it. Yeah. Yeah, 1 GP a pound is okay. I mean, as an example, um, in the old system, it was 2 copper pieces a mile for travel.
no,
Yeah.
no.
So, that'd be about 5 gold maybe to go from one region to another region. But that doesn't have any like package content weight or anything like that. It's just X per mile. So,
Exactly.
so having it be a GP per pound, I think is fine. With minimum GP of 10. It's true. They can always just travel themselves to do it.
And as Nert pointed out, he'll have hireling done at some point, which they can also just hire a hireling to do it,
Yep.
right?
Which their system for like cost is already implemented. I just need a
Mhm.
adjust the prices to fit how much downtime that they are technically able to provide, and how much limitations that those downtimes are limited to. Because like, I don't want someone to just be able to buy infinite downtime, so I have to
Mhm.
fiddle with the rules to make it proper value. And they're actually one of the more complicated systems I've been working on.
Could have that you can only hire an amount of hirelings equal to your charisma unless you have a structure tied to them.
That could work.
Hirelings need to eat too. Okay.
Yeah, well, I actually have a separation between hireling and worker.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So workers
Okay.
are those who are specifically ones who work on structures. They generally cost less because they don't actually provide you any downtime days. They just ensure your structure is doing its job. And then you have the hireling, which are those that you specifically, like if you're paying guards to watch over a caravan, or like a guide to transport you from region A to region B. Those are actively interacting with the downtime system, and their systems, they generally cost more and provide access to downtime activities, or grant downtime itself, depending on the type of character or the hireling. It's not really a differentiation. It's just are you paying for downtime cost? Or are you paying for upkeep cost, essentially? So it's generally how it's set up on the equipment guide. But yeah, let's see here. Final pricing is 1 GP per pound. Um, I would say round to nearest whole number, as well as minimum 10 GP. As for your point number 4, let's see here. So researching enchantments, I haven't just added it to World Anvil yet, but it's always intended to be the same system as researching new spells. So like, yeah, what's I said? And it adds, I believe, 2 GP per additional page. A letter is 1 page, 12-point font times New Roman, double spaced. Traditional college paper, essentially.
MLA format.
Yes.
You must also have three examples of citation.
Mm-hmm.
Your last name and the page number needs to be at the bottom, no, top right of the page.
I mean, that's fine. People want to keep enchantment research on hold, and that's totally fine. It will be released relatively soon because I've been adding a lot of new enchantments. Which, by the way, if any of you have enchantments that you've made, send them my way so I can add them to the guide. Because I'm adding those. That's kind of the section I've been working on most recently, is just slamming things into the magic item section. I know we've already had some sent my way, but the more the merrier. Let's see here. But yeah, no. The enchantment researches is tended to be the same as researching new spells. So I believe the first bullet point in spell research.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a lot of the enchantment section that is viable. Because I believe enchantment crafting is one of the easier systems out of all the crafting systems. Because it's pretty much just take a reagent, choose enchantment, you're good. Um, yeah. Now, if you do something more complicated, like take enchantment, make it so it's a charged item, give it additional 3 charges, make it so it can only be used by certain individuals, get rid of its attunement, all these other weird modifiers, then it gets complicated. But Yeah. Tiers of enchantments? No. If the different levels of spells are listed in the reagent description. So if you're trying to replicate a second level spell, I believe it's minor uncommon, or no, they might be a major uncommon. It's listed in the guide. I would say packages can contain a brief note, yeah. Something like a paragraph.
What if someone makes a run-on sentence paragraph?
That's still a paragraph.
Yeah.
Alright, a paragraph
Okay,
that's no longer than a third of a page.
here you
For
go.
simplicity,
Here you go.
300 words.
Jesus fuck sending.
I hate the 25 words limit. 100 word limit.
No,
Done.
fuck
Come
you.
No.
on, bro.
I'm not sending a fucking essay using a third level spell. Go fuck
500 letter
yourself.
minimum.
I'm going to hurt you, and I don't know when I'm going to stop.
Hey, sending would be better if it was based on letters. Come on, guys.
Generally,
Kobolds are banned.
most enchantments in the guide are defaulted to attunement, yes. They'll be pretty clear which ones are not defaulted to attunement, and getting rid of attunement, the rules therein are in the guide already, I believe, so it's not too difficult to just slap that away.
I mean, technically, I would not be surprised if someone like Duke's character Bill did try and make some kind of like encryption in his letters, given the state of what his character does.
Alright, so you know what my response to that is? Congratulations, there's probably rules for making codes. Use them.
The linguist feat probably should have some form of interaction with. I dropped it again. With the mail system. Yeah, and some other systems, to be honest. But probably should make sure these systems work properly before we start adding some spicy additions to them. Unless Guy already has ideas. Mm-hmm. Yeah, best to get the base system out and then slap down some attachments and add-ons and whatnot. Don't do a me, essentially. Don't just slam out this massive system of like 40 pages.
Yeah. Don't spend your day making an entire class with 6 subclasses. No.
Don't worry about it. Anyways, what's next on the docket? Yeah. I would add on to that particular patch note for enchantments research to be on hold that equipment guide is close to being completed, so it'll be released from hold upon equipment guide's release. Cool. Number 5, how big are we talking? Because my earbuds are still most certainly dying. I only have one earbud right now.
They're shortish.
Alright, well, slap them down, quick clack. Let's see how much we can get through before I die.
Don't die.
Oh, I
So,
already proved some of these. I give a thumbs up. I probably should give like a
oh,
TIFF nodders instead, so it's clear that I'm the one doing it.
let's see then.
Let's see, were those in? I'll look at them in a bit.
You
There
know,
it
I
is.
won't lie. I do.
Sacred rights,
I
good to go. Processing materials, good to go. Clarification of attainability of items. I'm still hesitant on this one, but I think it's good to go for now. Once the equipment guide's updated, we'll probably revisit this particular topic of attainability of items, but yeah. Because right now, tier 3 materials and the like are... they're not rare. They're not common, but they're not rare. So... in tier 4, they are rare, but they are doable.
It's just for the tier of play stuff and
Yeah.
balance.
Yeah, for balance purposes, I think it's fine for now, but it's something we should revisit once we have updates released again. Structures for jobs. I mean, that works. Yeah, just see workshop of X profession, get the boon for PAP.
All right.
So I think for auctions, since we just finished the last biddy there, unless there's a new biddy that I'm not aware of, we can just have a influence cost to trigger an auction. Maybe like 30 or something like that, so it's something decently pricey that could trigger things to be purchasable out of tier based on how much influence is spent. So if you're spending like 30, it would be tier plus 1. If you're spending like 60, it'd be tier plus 2.
Now, the problem is currently a lot of people are against just the ability to buy things out of tier. So do we want to give that ability?
Well, the thing with magic items that are out of tier is they can't generally use them in the first place. So they would just have the item. Because most items, magical items, are level locked. They have a glory rating, meaning that you have to be a certain level to actually use it. Which is,
So
I mean, we discussed
any
this
magic
previously,
item, so any magic item above tier 3 is unusable right now.
generally speaking, yeah.
Good to know.
Okay.
Or it might be tier 4. I know excellent quality or excellent rarity magic items are usable because that's where you can get +1 weapons. So I believe it might be excellent and lower is fine, and superior and above has a glory rating.
Correct. The superior and above is well, superior and like the one below is tier 2.
Yeah.
Which means largely you have to be tier 2 to get it, and as is we only have one person that's level 5. The only reason it was brought up is because we don't want to run into a tier 1 Verum situation where we're having characters with items they should not have, which causes an imbalance in combat. And
yeah,
I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't dealing with that again.
Mm-hmm. It's true. But yeah, no, that's why glory is a feature, and it's in the updated guide. It is just a default thing for any magic item of a certain rarity or higher. Some will just have it regardless because of how potent they might be. But if they're a certain rarity, they are going to have a glory rating. Let's see here. Yeah, I've already read that shopping rules rewrite. I think it looks pretty good, so I think it's good to push. Makes things so much cleaner, and all that good stuff.
Well, there was a newer rewrite where we reduced the time but gave influence cost to the tier 3 items.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think having it be influence or gold expenditure for access, for like a quicker access to those tier 3 items, would be the way to go.
That could also work, yes.
But having it,
Essentially double the price.
yeah. But either which way works. All right, last topic. Huzzah. We went over enchanting research. Yeah,
Oh,
essentially the results were for enchanting research is if the system is the same exact calculations as researching new spells, um, but it's currently on hold until the enchantment updates have been released, so the equipment guide. And that's partially because a whole lot of changes are happening, including modifications to currently existing enchantments. As an example, the set ability score enchantment, so like Bull Strength set, Cat's Grace Strength set, the things that just set your like dexterity score to say 12. Each one of those have had their rarity levels increased. So instead of being something that's easily attainable for like a fine quality reagent, you now need a higher quality reagent to get the lowest level of that enchantment. Still doable, but it's just a bit higher.
as Legacy's typing that. Ear, I believe it was Earlobe that talked about it. Um, People need to stop theorizing with stuff that's still a work in progress because it will come to bite you in the ass.
I mean, please theorize. It provides me loopholes to my systems that I need to fix. But yes, as Kate said, if you do theorize, um, I might notice and realize that there's shenanigans going
Yeah.
afoot that need to be fixed.
Well, like it's okay to like theorize, but like you also have to realize like these things are going to change at least 3 times over by the time it comes out for very obvious reasons. So like, you know, have that always in the back of your mind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Prizrook has a very solid auction write up. Hot damn. I think if we have if we're doing it like once per drop, we could have it be the week after the drop, just so players know that hey, a week before the drop, they're going to get downtime in a week, and then a week thereafter, an auction will occur. So it's very obviously this is the two-step process type of thing. So it's just like bam, bam, bam. Yeah. 4 auctions per month, I think, is fine. And then we can discuss it during the downtime drop meeting, um, what items might be on the auction and whatnot. And we can just roll them up too, because part of the equipment guide update does have a random item rule system. I think one per region could work.
Well, the magical items will be unavailable. From what I understand, tier 4 items and high quality will still be available to both purchase and use, right?
So
If
high
we are allowing
quality
out of tier.
requires a particular grade of crafter, and because of that, they're actually pretty hard to find. Currently, tiers of play can get access to. Previously, it was superior, but I've added exceptional quality items. So exceptional is easily attainable from anyone in tier 1. Anything above that, I would say, would require an auction.
So anything above superior is an auction.
Yeah.
Then yeah, we can just put masterpiece on an auction.
Mm-hmm. And I was going to say something. I don't remember. My mind blanked. It's
Also, what about tier 4 materials? Is it alright to put them on an auction?
It's alright to put them in auctions, yeah.
Yeah.
So tier 4 materials, even tier 5 materials, they are pretty potent, but their effects themselves are only going to be about the same strength as an excellent quality reagent. So something that's already in tier.
Mm-hmm.
They're just super rare is the thing, so they should have an auction required to them, and they're pretty expensive too, so being able to afford them by themselves is going to be like an entire player's paycheck if they are like early level. As an example, buying a suit of Mithril full plate, I believe, is about like 50 times 40 pounds, so 500 times 4, so 2,000 gold plus some, plus more. And that's just Mithril, nothing else. So, like, I think Mithril full plate would be probably about 2,400 gold, if I can do the math through my head, and nothing else. And if you add a quality bonus to that Mithril full plate, then it's even more money. If you add enchantments to it, it's even more money, so it's a lot of money.
Also, if superior is supposed to be the maximum quality attainable outside of auctions, we should probably remove masterpiece from shopping.
Probably should just mark that as shopping, or as superior, and then continue from there.
Right, will do.
Yeah, in terms of auctions, players can craft the items we produce in auctions. I don't think we should give anything that is custom made, because I don't want anyone to be left out in that regard. We can give them items such as like, oh, here's a +1 flaming sword made of like fever iron. That's fine. But I don't want to give someone who any items is like, here is a artifact grade item that has the ability to produce 7 different allies or copies of yourself that all each get their own individual actions. None of that shit. So, you know, things within tier of play +1 or so that follow equipment guides, various enchantments, and quality benefits. Mostly so, one, we can just easily calculate the cost of the item, and then we can have that be the base or slightly adjusted base price for the auction's initial bet per Prisrix rules.
Also, if we talked about quality material, what is the maximum reagent tier we allow?
Reagent tier,
and also enchantment. Well, enchantment is above tier 3 is unavailable right now. What about reagents, though?
I mean, players can harvest up to currently. I think they can harvest superior without too much issue.
Well, with Master Harvester and
Yeah,
presumably a mine?
they would need
Like
like
a
a
harvesting
mine
structure?
and like a structure. They would need master in it, and they need some stuff, but they could do superior, I think, without too much issue.
Mhm.
I think anything above that might have the DC be in like the 30s, where it's not really attainable.
Mhm.
But I'd have to look at the table with the book, which I don't have currently open. So yeah, so a glory is a very important feature. It's very much a balancing fact, but it is something that's in the equipment guide already. I just need to make clear what it applies to. So, but you know,
Yeah. What which is basically saying we don't want a Verum tier 1 towards the end where like people were having +2 bows in a level 1 mission because they got it from the faction and some bullshit like that. And it's like, well, okay, this boss just melded. All right,
mm-hmm.
anyway, here's your golden money. Fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah,
Like no one wants that kind of balance. It's not fun
it's
in
true.
any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it might be fun for the player for like the first couple sessions of that, but
Wow.
having played with cheats on like Dungeons and Dragons Heroes back on the Xbox days, where you just overpower your character up the wazoo, it's fun being a god for like a couple seconds, and you're like, I'm not really challenged anymore. Lost the muster. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Anyways, uh, I think with all that said, anything else needs to be brought up? All right. In that case, anything anyone else would like to bring up? Things to discuss.
Uh, we already have one part-time DM that ascended.
Nice.
As soon as Sultan does his stuff, he'll be good to go.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have two part-time DMs in a relatively short time.
Very nice.
Uh, Legacy has staff. We have at least one did drop completely, so we'll have at least five new staff.
Fancy. Hopefully we can get some more RP
Once that
people.
starts going. Yeah.
Very nice.
So that's two part-time GMs, so 7 staff.
Very nice. Very nice indeed.
Unfortunately, there has been no new applicants. So
Yeah. We still need to post out our other looking for DMs and staff
Mhm.
in forums and whatnot. Which, by the way,
Yeah.
for admin team, just remind me to send you guys the email for the official, like, Living World email. Because I have it, I just haven't made any accounts for, like, Reddit or anything like that with it, so it's there, it exists. Just keep forgetting to do it. Yeah. In terms
and the
of
debt rules for Pi.
debt rules for Pi.
Yeah, because
Someone went dead.
someone rolled very, very poorly, and now I had to get off my butt and actually write those. So,
Let's see. Da, da, da.
Man, it's gonna be fun knowing that all the gold that Quinn's gonna get in his mission isn't gonna even go to him.
fucking Zyron is going to lose 10,000 gold in one fell swoop.
So I think when it comes to debt, your basic system there is pretty solid. with a few additions, alterations. In
Let's
that,
hear 'em.
If a player chooses not to pay their debt, they should have the option to do that. Repercussions should occur. 1, they should lose influence until they hit a negative number, in which case they are labeled a criminal, and at that point, bounties would be placed upon them, so we'll need to have a bounty system for that. Or just, send NPCs at their face. But, yeah.
Work in progress, but yes.
Yeah. 2, if they are choosing to not pay their debt and their debt is incurred by a criminal organization, we can just skip the whole negative influence thing and just go right to having some goons go out their face. And if it's a criminal organization that has players in it, maybe a player will be sent as a bounty hunter to collect the due.
Oh, wait. I have a gift for this.
Oh boy, of course you do.
But yeah, overall, essentially let them choose if they want to pay it or not. I would say don't force them.
Yeah, that's what the can in the first sentence is for.
That's an important word. Yeah.
Yeah. I can make a more official write-up of it. That's not that hard. I was just kind of slapping things onto a page at 11 at night on Friday after work, so...
As a basic system, I think it's fine. Just with options for them to do the thing and for them to slowly lose influence, though I would say it's an exponential loss. So on downtime drop 1, it might be 5. Downtime drop 2, it might be 5 times 2, so 10. Then 10 times 2 is 20, so it's exponentially going to grow until they just...
Yeah, it's just I put down the equal to proficiency bonus originally just because it's easy to keep track of.
Yeah. Alright. Anything else would like to discuss then?
Minor note for just other region heads and stuff, if they are interested in doing it. I did collect all the data on our current player base. It's not quite super up to date because there's been at least one retirement and new characters since I did it. But to kind of tune up or revise some underused or underpicked origins, this is primarily for Borussia because there are a total of 6 Borussian players. 4 of them are the same origin, and all the other ones have 0 people in them. So that's very cool. I just wanted to remind people to potentially look at revising your origins, buffing them up a little bit. I can post the data if people are interested in which ones are underused, but
totally.
Their apostate is by far the most picked origin.
Well,
apostate's
okay.
pretty spicy.
Yeah, like you gave players a reroll. They will suck dick for a reroll. Like they will do everything in their power to get lucky, a reroll or some type of way to never lose RNG.
Considering that in my Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough, I am playing a bard, druid, so I have guidance, and I have lucky. I'm just I'm vibing with this. Yeah, everything I'm doing is just I don't want to deal with this negative consequence. Boop.
Yeah, but he is right. Like some that are get underused do need some buff, which is to be fair, but in the same vein, again, players are they're gonna do everything they can to get that reroll, get lucky. It's hard to not pull players from that.
It's true.
Yeah.
But if you're interested in the data, there it is.
I'm gonna have to bleep that out of the recording, unless that's public.
I can make it private. It doesn't really matter.
It's fine. I don't need to bleep it now. I don't need to edit the recording.
Yeah, I don't think data on what origins people have is something we need to hide.
I mean, if it was a storyline, then I'd be like, I don't know what you're doing here, but...
No, it's good. There's nothing in that document that is private.
This is all fine.
Yep, this was just generated through a macro that pulled out all of the character names, their origins, regions, whatnot.
Anyways, anything anyone else would like to discuss before I die? Because my headset is now beeping me again for my right earbud.
I've updated